Hello there, good to see you once again. Now on this video I'm gonna share with you exactly how to support your parents without going broke, causing conflict and such kind of a things. Because I mostly receive calls from people and tell me, hey Joseph, you know what? I'm the firstborn. And by the way, I happen to be the most privileged one in my family. And guess what? I'm being directed to me helping my parents because we aren't coming up from a good family. And I have brothers and sisters whom I have support to pay them school fees and what kind of a things. Alright, so today I've decided to share with you a very vital information on exactly how you're supposed to go about this, maneuver around it, and actually do not get yourself in this entanglement and with the kind of a conflicts and such kind of a thing. So you better stick around because I'm gonna share this information in a point form whereby I'm gonna break down each and every point for you to consume the maximum information and benefit out of that product. All right. And by the way, because I don't want you to take or miss any of my future good videos, this is what I want you to do. It doesn't cost you anything. It's just free of charge. Just down below there on your right, there is a button written subscribe. Just hit that button. It doesn't cost you anything, but and then you get to be notified whenever I upload a new good video. Also give this video a thumbs up so that you can have more people coming on board. All right, so let's get into today's business. Now you're out there, say you're the privileged one. Doesn't have to be the firstborn, secondborn, or whichever the person. It just happens randomly you happen to be the most privileged one, and then you happen to come from a family which is not so fortunate in this life. All right, so you ask yourself now, most of the time you receive calls from your parents, it's like they have directed you, it's like you've been assigned a certain duty for you to be helping them each and every time maybe they have a problem. And maybe if you have your siblings, they kind of direct you towards doing exactly that. Now, what exactly should I do? Okay, now this is the point. There is one thing that you're supposed to understand with the parents. Like, they are growing old. The most vital thing that would advise you to do with the parents is to have them an insurance fund. You brother subscribe to you paying that insurance fund, because at the end of the day, once they go sick, because let's not bury our heads to the sun. The fact remains, these people as they grow old, of course, there's something called low immune system and such kind of a thing. See, old age comes with a lot of things, and obviously some of the things are kind of almost being predictable, or you can be able to predict what exactly it will transpire. So my advice would be exactly get them an insurance fund. At the end of the day, sometimes I used to have a friend who had some parents who used to be very, very sick actually. And by the way, both of them were alive. And it happened like one this is sick and the other one is okay. That guy used to go to hospital like all the time. So if you were to calculate all those small things, the small money that you're using here and there, those scannings and what have you here and there, you realize that you're using a lot of money. But if you were to get an insurance fund, a health fund, even the basic one like NHIF in Kenya, the one that goes for only 500 shillings, that will go away into helping you and getting yourself out of many problems. Let's get this African mentality out of our head, like, oh, I'm just paying like a hospital bill and I'm not getting sick. It's like, you know what, that is more of you think it's more of a stereotypical thing more than a real thing. It's good to insure yourself. It is good to make sure that those parents of yours, a wonderful one, they have what we call the insurance fund. You'll be paying that specific insurance fund, because at the end of the day, a time will come and it will be a situation. Have you ever been in a situation whereby you've seen a family whereby they're trying to, are having an account out there, maybe in a TV or radio station or what have you, or Facebook pages or GoFundMe, they're actually requesting you to, to donate for them so that they can be able to settle the hospital bills and such kind of things. It's so weird. And maybe let's say, and God forbid, say like maybe your parents or maybe, or someone's parent, like it happens because that's normal, and they dies. And then you realize like they have died with a bill of close to $1 million or over $1 million. And then you are there, they're denying you to get the body because you haven't settled the bill. Maybe it's kind of weird, okay? It's not a thing that any family would ever wish to happen to their parents. So this is what I would advise. It's good to get yourself an insurance fund. Yes, that may not be able to settle all the problems that you have, but at least you're gonna settle what we call a good substantive amount of problem or challenges that you may face ahead in front of you. So it's always good to make sure, just count yourself in and understand that at the end of the day, this will be a responsibility, this will be a role, so you better handle it as it is. All right, so the second point I would advise you to do exactly is this. There this program that Kenya get or have what we call the Inua Jamii thing. If you can be able to get your parents into that thing, if they are old enough to qualify for that thing. But of course, you cannot be able to enroll a 43-year-old or 45-year-old individual to that kind of a thing. So that goes for people above 60 years and such kind of a thing. So that they be able to get that what we call the monthly stipend of, I think it's 2,000 or 2,500. I don't know. It's around that amount of money So if you can be able to maneuver yourself around that, so that at least they be getting that 2,000, maybe perhaps even you, wherever you are, you're trying your best, you're bit, you're still struggling here and there. You aren't at a position whereby you can consider yourself financially free. So it is good to, maybe you can just help them here and there, so that at least they can acquire that. Don't just, don't ignore that 2,000 can go ahead in helping you some one way or the other. Perhaps these guys living at Ushago, or what they need is kasukari, mafuta, and such kind of a thing in life inaendelea. All right. So the other thing I would advise this: if your parents aren't that old, there's something that I've seen that is kind of a trend. The moment a parent realizes that now you've become a little, not even stable, but a little bit stable, you're getting some things, okay? They kind of switch off, they don't work again, and you realize these guys are like, your mom is like 45, the dad is at 50. That guy is still strong, okay? If doesn't have any diseases, you realize like they have switched off, they're no longer working, they don't want to work. It's like now they feel like, our daughter is now working, our son is now working, and such kind of a thing. So the point is this: now you're supposed to empower them. Instead of you giving them a vision each and every day, you better start something that they can be able to go ahead and do it, so that they grow themselves to the next step. And by the way, this has to happen with you sitting them down and talking to them. Try to explain to them, hey, you know what, guys, I may be outside the country, I may be at Gulf countries, I may be at whatever you think I am, and maybe you think that I'm earning a lot. Or maybe if you're earning a lot, it's okay, you can just, retire them and feed them and support them all through. But if you know you haven't yet reached that particular point, then you have to sit them down and tell them, hey, you know what, guys, yeah, I understand that you brought me in quite a challenging life, but at this particular point, I would love to start you something that is not so much engaging, and so that at least you can be earning something and you can help me, and I know you love me, and that's kind of a thing. So these are parents. You're supposed to approach them with the utmost respect, and again, you're supposed to approach them with what we call the wisdom, because wisdom is the most essential thing. Don't tell them, hey, you know what, guys, are you people, you're very young, you should be working. No. You just tell them, hey, you know what, guys, you know what, I love you very much, and I want you to help me somewhere, because I know you really love me. That's something I wanted to start for you, and I want to support you to a point whereby this thing will be able to kick off. And that particular point, this is what I asked to do. This, you get what I'm saying. You just engage them in that conversation, and then with that point, they'll be able to settle some few details here and there. And by the time they are retiring, they already have a retirement for them, rather than making you their retirement plan. Because I have seen that, especially in African families, you realize that our parents usually invest in their kids in the name of their retirement plans. Okay, now we go to the next one. Now at this particular point, this one may hit differently, depends on how you understand life. There is something that is called reality. There is something called death, and that one will surely happen to me, to you, to them, to everyone. As far as we are breathing, one day it will be the end of our time. I have seen a lot of people adding people to groups and telling them, hey, you support us. I would like to get our beloved one from hospital off the mortuary so that you can bury them, and that's kind of a thing, and that kind of a trend goes on and on and on and on. That one can be prevented by first having an insurance fund that I told you. Number two, having a plan of a certain occasion. Let me tell you one secret. Let's not bury our heads into the sand and assume that this thing is not real. Yes, we love them. I do love them, and I do love them as well. But the fact remains is this: that's a reality. One day it will show up, and it will beat us, and we have to accept the way it is. So it's always good to have that thing in plan for you, so that at least it doesn't get you, what we call, unprepared way, and then kind of exposes some of the weaknesses in your family. The moment you've gotten by that problem, and then you do not know even what to do, then you call upon people to help you doing exactly that. The most paining thing that I usually see in families is that you find they have their loved one in the hospital, or maybe the mortuary, the loved one have died, and then you realize that they are being asked like 790,000. Let me tell you one thing: this family has never ever seen that kind of amount of money. Now they have been helped by, let's say, the local MPs, MCAs, and what have you, the Jiranis here and there. They've managed to raise that amount of money. Then they take the entire amount of money, they take it to the hospital to get the body, and then they go, they bury the person. Then they go back to the same poverty. That thing is quite paining. Maybe that amount of money could have helped them in one way or the other. So it is good to make sure that these things are real, you understand them, just find a plan on how to do that. Don't behave as if you'll never grow old. Don't behave as if, just because you don't feel anything, you feel like every time, or maybe towards your end, maybe in terms of old age, you just be real. Even for yourself, it's good to plan for yourself, so that at least you do not get yourself into problems or into challenges. All right, so let me get to the last one, but not the least, and this is quite an amazing one. Now, I've also saw as well being receiving calls from people and telling me, hey, you know what, Joseph, I'd like to empower them, and but then you've said that we should start a business for them and such kind of a things. But these people do not even know how to run a business. Perhaps they just run the business with alternative in their head, like, oh, you know what, even if this business fails, I have my son, I have my daughter somewhere, or I have my daughter somewhere, so they're gonna help me. So they do not put that effort that is required to make sure that this business picks up. So at the end of the day, the business goes into downtrend, the money disappears, and then they go back to square one, to whereby they rely on you fully, like 100%. So this is the point. If you realize that your parents are those kind of people, then this is what I would tell you. Make sure that at least you start them a business, or you start them an investment that you know it doesn't engage much to them. For example, if you go ahead and invest in insurance policy over them, they be getting something. Or maybe if that's a long term, you can invest in what we call the circles. You can put some money in circles. You can put under your name, but you're assigning the dividends to them. Okay, that not only helps you into saving, but as well, it helps you, or helps you actually in terms of you helping them. Let's say like you have like 1 million. Oh, this is your parents, by the way, and this is your money at the end of the day. You can take that to 1M, you can take that 100,000, that 200,000, or half an M million, or whatever that thing you have, okay? You put it in a circle, whereby you'll be getting what we call the dividends. If you put in a circle that giving you 17%, or 15, 16, or 14%, that gives you a good amount of money if you put your couple of 100,000 out there. Now, that money that you get, that is what usually, for example, say you put like your 300,000 out there, and they're giving you 16%. 16 times 3, that's a good amount of money. Now, you can divide that amount of money in terms of an year. Now, you'll be distributing that money or rather in terms of a month, and then you'll be distributing that money to them each and every month. That has not only helped you to save your money, as well as helped you to be able to qualify for a bigger loan one day, and at them at the same time you're getting the interest that you're sharing with them. That's how you invest. That's how you support them as a pro. You get a million bob, you put that into a circle, then that circle giving you like 14%. That is like 140,000 at the end of the year. You just deduct like 15% of the government and what have you. You receive like 130,000 or maybe 125,000. You take the 125,000 divide by 12 months. You know how much you'll be getting for them each and every month. Now get that money, be distributing to them each and every month. So your million bob is still intact. That a million bob is earning you a credit whereby you can get a loan, and that a million bob is helping you to help your parents. That's how you do it. That's how you invest you as a pro. Rather than you just getting the million bob that you have, you distribute it to them, and then yeah. Anyway, I'm just explaining to you so that at least you'll be able to understand how you're supposed to maneuver around you helping the parents, because there is nothing tricky in life like balancing the love and as well balancing the finances. When you get that trick and when you're able to balance all those three things, that would be an amazing thing. Now, anyway, my name is Joseph. Talk about money. If this is your first time, kindly consider clicking that your subscription button. Doesn't cost you anything, and as well that like button. Share this video out if you're in a position to. And if you're out there, you'd like to know how to invest on circles, I give those services. You can give me a call. My number is on the description of this specific box or other video. You give me a call. We talk about finance, and as well I talk about money. I can help you or handhold you on areas on where you can be able to invest. I have different booklets about investment, money market fund, treasury bills, treasury bonds, booklet of business plans, individual business plans as well. I write business proposals, business plans, and such kind of a thing. So just give me a call using the same number on my description, and then we talk business. Because let me tell you one secret: when we stop talking, then we start fighting. So for now, it's a goodbye. See you in the next one, and goodbye.